So it's nearly the end of the year 2020 and you need a computer, but your budget is really low. What can you do? One of the first things that you may want to try is to look for a decent computer with the cheapest price possible. However, you will quickly find out that this is a very difficult task, as most computers that have a very low price actually have very bad specs, and usually they are from, I don't know, maybe unknown brands, and the price is actually not that low. Another option you may consider is getting a Chromebook. Now, the Chromebook can be a pretty good computer, except if you actually need to use Windows or Linux. Now, the third option is naturally to buy a used computer. Now, as luck will have it, Amazon has a program called Amazon Renewed, where you can buy used equipment that has been certified, so to speak, at a certain level to be working perfectly, in excellent conditions, and the probability of you getting an issue with something bought on the Amazon Renewed program is very low. Now, first I had heard about this program when it came to cell phones, buying used cell phones, and you actually could get pretty good deals, but I recently realized that you can also get computers at very low prices. Now, for today's video, I bought a computer that's actually a pretty old computer. It's from 2012. As you probably saw already in the title, is the Lenovo x230. It came out in 2012. It's a very small and compact computer for the day. And is it worth it now that we're nearly by the end of 2020? Let's check it out. Hey everybody, welcome to REYTech Media. My name is Joe, and as I said just a few seconds ago, we're going to look into how worth it is a Lenovo x230 by the end of 2020 if you buy it used. As I also mentioned, I bought this computer using the Amazon Renewed program, and it was actually a pretty good deal considering the specs. Now, for starters, what you have here is a very small computer. Well, for the time when it was built, this is a 12.5-inch screen laptop. It's pretty small, as you can see. It is kind of light. For the time, it was really light. It's about 3 pounds, I would say, and it has pretty decent specs for the time. This is a Lenovo brand, and this is a ThinkPad model. Now, in case you didn't know, the ThinkPad line of Lenovo laptops, or before it used to be IBM laptops, they are really workhorses. Now, they're not exactly workstations, but they are meant to be tough. They are meant to be very durable and upgradable, and overall excellent computers. Now, this one has, like I said, pretty decent specs. It has a Core i5 3rd generation. Remember, it's 2012 computer. It goes for, processor actually has 2 cores, and it is hyper-threaded, so you get 4 threads total, and you can easily upgrade the RAM. This is something that I really like about this laptop. You can have a maximum of 16 gigabytes in DDR3 if you use 2 8 gigabytes DIMMs. Now, one of the things that I really like about this computer is actually the keyboard, all the ThinkPad keyboards that I have ever tried, and I have tried a few from the ThinkPad lineup, and they have a very common denominator or common characteristic, and that is that it has a decent amount of treble. They are not too loud, and they are very comfortable to type on. The experience or the feel of typing on this keyboard is actually really good. Now, it has the very tiny mouse stick in the middle of, or in between, the G and H keys. This is a very trademark, so to speak, in the ThinkPad or Lenovo laptops. I believe some Toshiba laptops used to also have this kind of mouse. You of course have a touchpad that is clickable, and you have also the mouse buttons apart. Now it's running Windows 10 Pro, and I actually got it updated to the latest version. And so far it's been running very decently. Now the one negative thing about this particular model is that it came with a 500 gigabyte hard drive, so a traditional mechanical hard drive, and this of course impacts heavily on the performance of the computer. Now the use case scenario for this particular laptop is to be used in a college environment. Okay, so it's only going to be used for homeworks, you know, running the Office suite and whatnot, the full-time internet access, I guess, and that's kind of it. So if you need to do a lot of typing, a lot of homeworks, a lot of online research, and basically just using the Office suite, then this laptop is excellent. Now I bought from a particular seller from the Amazon Renew program, and they are called REYTech. Now they did a pretty good job on the refurbishing of this computer, or the renewal process of this computer. It does have some signs of wear and use, of heavy use, but this is something that is particular in the Lenovo ThinkPad laptops, that the material used, the kind of plastic, is very susceptible or very sensitive to scratches and nudges and that kind of stuff. Overall, I think the computer looks pretty good. The keyboard is pretty much mint condition, and yeah, the battery is working pretty well. I actually did a test of the battery and it lasted just under 4 hours, so it's not that big of endurance, but I don't think it was marketed as such. The battery is supposed to be extended from what I can see, because it's kind of the thick type of batteries. And one thing I really like about the ThinkPad lineup is that they have this dock connector right here. They have a very standard, well, actually it's a proprietary dock, but they are very common. You can use the same dock for the X series and the T series of the Lenovo, from what I know. Probably you can use it in more series, but those are the ones that I have experience with, and you can use the same type of dock. And it came with the power adapter, and that was pretty much it. In the packaging, it was actually a comically large box for the size of this computer, and it was only the laptop, the charging brick, and a very cute mouse pad, which is this one, and the memory stick. This is actually a 16 gigabyte memory stick, which is welcome. You can use this for making a boot drive or something like that, which I recommend actually. And I don't think that I'm going to be using the mouse pad because, well, actually the computer is not mine. I need to clear that out. It's actually a friend of mine, but she is going to be using it for college. She will probably use the mouse pad. I wouldn't use it because it is kind of funny how big it is, or how small rather it is, compared to the MX Master first generation. So maybe she will use it, I don't know. Regardless, it's a nice touch. I really didn't expect to have any accessories at all, except maybe for the flash drive, which was already listed in the Amazon listing. And okay, so things that I don't really like much about this laptop is, for example, the display resolution is 1336 by 768, so it's pretty low. For the time, 2012, it was actually like HD resolution, not full HD, but HD resolution, kind of equivalent to the 720 resolutions. And it's adequate if you're going to be typing and maybe doing some browsing. However, it can get a little bit tiring to have to scroll around a lot in web pages and documents or whatever. The keyboard, as I said, is really good for typing. It's a wonderful keyboard. However, I wish it was a little bit bigger. I kind of don't like that it has many keys that are cramped together. For example, the page up and page down keys are just cramped along with the arrow keys. So it's kind of easy to do a mistyping of the page up or page down when you're actually trying to go up or right or left with the arrow keys. So it's really nitpicking on my part, but it is what it is. The colors on the screen are also pretty dull from what I could tell. I guess I'm spoiled by the screens in the MacBook and a Dell laptop that I have. There's actually a 4K display and it has excellent colors and an excellent screen overall. So this Lenovo keyboard in comparison is pretty dull. It's adequate, it gets the job done. You know, you can do your homework, your research, your browsing. Probably not going to be very good for YouTube or media consumption, but it's probably not the main intent of this laptop. Now, things that I didn't like at all, the hard disk. You definitely need an SSD with this kind of laptop. If you can get a 16 gigabytes of RAM, you can probably upgrade them yourself, and also an SSD instead of a traditional mechanical hard drive. This computer would be very, very, very fast. So more than adequate for performance-wise, anyways, for anything that you might have to do in college, for example, in a college environment. So I guess this is it. Not too much to say. Oh, I also almost forgot to mention that another very good thing about this laptop is the ports that it has. It's got this USB-A port right here, which we can probably see that it's yellow, which means that you can plug anything into it and it will charge, for example, your phone or accessories or whatnot, even if the computer is turned off. And on the other side, you get a USB 3, actually two USB-A 3.0, a mini display port and a VGA port. I'm a little bit annoyed that you don't get an HDMI port, but you know, it is what it is. And there's also a I think this is a PCIe, sorry, it's a PCIe reader or expansion card, you know, those little compact ones that almost nobody uses or has. And that's kind of it. So can I recommend this computer? Absolutely. At the price that it is sold, it is a very, very good deal, especially if you consider buying a Chromebook instead. You will find that they go for about the same price. Sure enough, the Chromebook would be a new computer. However, you are limited to Chrome OS, whereas this runs Windows 10 Pro pretty well. Even at 8 gigs and the mechanical hard drive, it runs pretty well. I do wish it was faster, but it's easily fixed with an upgrade on the RAM and the SSD instead of a mechanical hard drive. So it gets my recommendation. There will be an affiliate link down below if you care to check it out. And if you watch this far, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next one. In the meantime, God bless you and take care.